أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين، والحمد لله الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبو القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أما بعد، اللهم لعن قتلة أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام. سلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. We have been discussing the concept of dua and the meaning of dua in the sense of our intimate relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Indeed, there are various dimensions to dua. The dimension that I am speaking about is seeking the understanding or the realization of the already existing proximity between abd and ma'bud. The realization of this close proximity between khaliq and makhluq. The realization of this close proximity between Rabb and marbub. It is this that I have been trying to emphasize when it comes to dua. The essence of this relationship itself between abd and ma'bud, the vehicle is the dua, the realization of it is the dua. However, the essence of it is that man in reality and in essence is asking for nothing but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the Malikul Mulk, I am the Abd. He is the Khaliq, I am the Makhluq. He is Qadirun ala kulli shay, I am Muhtajun ala kulli shay. This realization of this human being is one of the fundamental issues in dua. That is why Abu Abdullah al-Husayn salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi in the dua of Arafat says to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my Lord, what has he lost that has found you? And my Lord, what has he found that has lost you? It is him, the entire existence of the human being invests itself in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the best manifestation of this reality comes in the supplications of the A'imma, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim ajma'in. And the stories of the Anbiya, when we come to realize this intimate relationship between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The fact that in salat we say la hawla or bihawlillahi wa quwwatihi aqumu wa aq'ud is an acknowledgement of my weakness and the acknowledgement of his completeness. When I say bihawlillahi wa quwwatihi aqumu wa aq'ud, I possess nothing. It is with his hawl, his power and his might that I am able to stand and to sit down. It is he who can affect any change. It is he who can provide anything. It is only and only him. And although I seek rizq, although I seek money, although I seek shifa, although I seek my worldly needs, in reality I am seeking him and nothing but him, only if I begin to realize this reality. And we will see this from the supplications of our Aimma alayhi salatu wassalam. There was a moment when Ibrahim was being thrown into the inferno by by Namrud. Namrud had decided to throw Janab Ibrahim. Ibrahim is now mid-air. And the fire that is burning, the fire that is a very famous fire that we hear about, it is an inferno. And Ibrahim is moving towards it. Narrations tell us Jibreel Amin meets Ibrahim mid-air. And he said to him, Ibrahim, do you want me to assist you? Is there anything that you want me to do for you? Now look at the conviction of Ibrahim. Ibrahim's, his conviction in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his belief in him, his intimate relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says to Jibreel, he says, I do need assistance, bala, walakin minka fala. I need it. I need this assistance, but not from you, O Jibreel. That is not what I require from you. So Jibreel says, may I go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with any request that you may have? This is Jibreel asking him. He says, no, don't go with any request of mine. يَعْرِفُ حَالِي وَيُغْنِي عَنْ سُؤَالِي. He knows my condition. He knows where I am. He is aware of my need. I will do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. At this particular time, I will do exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. Although I run for risk in my life, I run for wants in my life, truly I am attached to this world. And truly this world is something that is attracting me because I have to live in it. However, there is a constant reminder by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for you and I that you need to be comfortable with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once you have Him, no risk will bother you. Once you have Him, nothing will bother you. The poet says, Mere ihsas ko shiddat na mile, ya mujhe hukme kanaat na mile. He says, Jiske milne se khuda ho jaun. That dawlat that will make me God, jiske milne se khuda ho jaun, e khuda mujhko wo dawlat na mile. If that is what is going to happen, that I'm going to lose my Lord and I'm going to be away from Him, then I do not require any such thing. Tonight is the night when we commemorate the Shab-e-Zarbat of Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi wa salamu alayh. And what a better way than to take some words of the du'as of Imam Ali alayhi salam to understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala means to him, to Amirul Mu'mineen. You see, sometimes you feel, that's why I keep repeating myself on many occasions, that when you see the world through somebody else's eyes, you are then masjoon and imprisoned to see the world exactly the way they see it. And when you are able to see your world freely, like Abu Abdullah al-Hussein salawatullahi wa salamu alayh, who is Abul Ahrar, tells us, Ya Shi'ata ala Abi Sufyan, in lam yakun lakum dinun wa kuntum la takhafun al-ma'ad, fakunu ahraran fi dunyakum. Then be free in this world of yours. This is what we are told. Now, Amirul Mu'mineen, look at the sentences in Dua-e-Kumail that Imam alayhi salam is using. And he is progressing in his relationship of his communication with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a manner in which he communicates, the way he talks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the way he begins his prayer, the way he becomes intimate with him, the way he demands from him, the way he asks him questions, the way he challenges Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all in Dua-e-Kumail. And because it is his night today, let me concentrate on this for a moment, inshallah ta'ala, and then we will get into the Masa'ib and we will discuss this further from tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala. He begins Imam Ali alayhi salam in Dua-e-Kumail, and this will give you the glimpse and the flavor of the relationship of Amirul Mu'mineen, who says to Allah, Ilahi, Anta kama uhib. My Lord, you are the way I love my Lord to be like. Faj'alni kama tuhib. Make me like you want me to become, like you love yourself. This Ali ibn Abi Talib who talks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala begins his dua of Kumail and he praises Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma inni as'aluka birahmatika allati wasi'at kulla shay. This is how he begins this prayer of his. He prays to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He begins his thana. He acknowledges the ayat that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed for his reminder. He talks about his weakness in this very prayer. So in this beginning, Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam begins by acknowledgement of the might and the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whose rahmah encompasses everything. You know, when you read Dua Kumail, you come to a stage, anyway, I will come to it in a moment. He then calls upon the Lord and he says, Ya Nuru, Ya Quddus, O light. And he begins this very gradually and talks to Imam Ali, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he speaks about the investment of his in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he comes to the point where he acknowledges, my Lord, after seeking forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allahumma ghfir li adh-dhunub allati tahbisu ad-du'a. Oh Allah, think about this particular statement. Oh Allah, forgive those of my sins that prevent my dua from reaching you. And he is aqrabu ilayna min hablil warid. He is closer to us than our jugular vein. فَلَوْلَا إِذَا بَلَغَتِ الْحُلْقُومِ وَأَنْتُمْ حِينَئِذٍ تَنْظُرُونَ وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْكُمْ وَلَكِنْ لَا تُبْصِرُونَ. On one hand, this is the proximity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. On the other hand, Imam Ali is saying, Allahumma ghfir li adh-dhunub allati tahbisu ad-du'a. My Lord, forgive those of my sins that prevent my dua from reaching you. How do you reconcile this? Amirul Mu'mineen is still progressing and speaking, and he's and giving us the realization that there is no escape from this kingdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَا يُمْكِنُ الْفِرَارُ مِنْ حُكُومَةِ. There is absolutely no firar from your hukuma. Then he asks and he progresses further and he goes deeper into this dua. Now Amirul Mu'mineen removes this formality between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He now has a relationship. He has reached a pedestal in this dua that he speaks to him in a different language. He says to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ilahi wa Sayyidi man li ghayruk. Oh Ilahi, oh my Lord, oh my Master, who is it for me other than you? This acknowledgement. You know, when we fail in our lives to do something, we immediately turn to somebody else other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Although we fool ourselves, it is He who we are referring to, but we turn to Him. Allah gives an example of the people and talks about the people in the ship. And He says that when we deliver them from their problems, they forget about everything that we had done for them. So here, Amirul Mu'mineen is making you and I realize, Man li ghayruk, who is it for me other than you? Then he becomes even more intimate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and says to him, my Lord, أَتُسَلِّطُ النَّارَ عَلَى وُجُوهٍ خَرَّتْ لِعَظَمَتِكَ سَاجِدَةً. My Lord, are you going to put this forehead into the fire of hell, the forehead that has prostrated before you? وَعَلَى أَلْسُنٍ نَطَقَتْ بِتَوْحِيدِكَ صَادِقَةً. Are you really going to put this tongue in the fire of hell that has eulogized you, that has sung your glory? Are you going to put these limbs? My Lord, really this is not the opinion I have of you. مَا هَكَذَا الظَّنُّ بِكَ. You are far more greater than what this is, that you are going to burn my limbs into the fire of hell. What a God this is that Amirul Mu'mineen is presenting before us. What a Lord He is that Imam Ali alayhi salam is presenting before us. He goes even deeper in his dua and he says to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his supplication, he says, I will endure your chastisement and punishment. فَكَيْفَ أَصْبِرُ عَلَى فِرَاقِكَ. My Lord, how can I even be able to conceive the fact that you will ignore me? Is it possible for you, my Lord, to ignore me? I mean, when you read this dua, you come to a stage where Amirul Mu'mineen talks about the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He talks about the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is amazing when you read this mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the tongues of Amirul Mu'mineen, how he presents it. He says to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after seeking forgiveness, he says, وَكُلَّ سَيِّئَةٍ أَمَرْتَ بِإِثْبَاتِهَا الْكِرَامَ الْكَاتِبِينَ. My Lord, forgive those of my sins for which you have appointed kiram al-katibin to record everything that is happening through me. Kiram al-katibin الَّذِينَ وَكَّلْتَهُمْ بِحِفْظِ مَا يَكُونُ مِنِّي. Those that you have appointed, whom you have appointed particularly to record that which is happening through me. My limbs are anything that my limbs do are going to be recorded, everything. الَّذِينَ وَكَّلْتَهُمْ بِحِفْظِ مَا يَكُونُ مِنِّي وَجَعَلْتَهُمْ شُهُودًا عَلَيَّ مَعَ جَوَارِحِي. Not only that, my Lord, this is Amirul Mu'mineen talking about the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, not only that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my Lord, not only that, وَجَعَلْتَهُمْ شُهُودًا عَلَيَّ مَعَ جَوَارِحِي. And you have made these angels together with my limbs witness over me on the day of judgment. وَجَعَلْتَهُمْ. So how many things are watching me as I am performing an act? Myself, my limbs, my mind, my thoughts, and the angels. Everything is there at that particular time. No. Then Amirul Mu'mineen says, forget about the angels. Forget about the limbs that have seen me doing this. وَكُنْتَ أَنْتَ الرَّقِيبَ عَلَيَّ مِنْ وَرَائِهِمْ. Forget about everyone else. My Lord, you yourself are the one who are watchful over these actions and over this abd of yours. وَكُنْتَ أَنْتَ الرَّقِيبَ عَلَيَّ مِنْ وَرَائِهِمْ. For those things which are hidden from them. And then you know what he says? There are some things, so on the day of judgment, my limbs are going to be witness against me. My angels are going to be kiram al-katibin, are going to be witness against me. All this. Now look at the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Amirul Mu'mineen says, وَبِرَحْمَتِكَ أَخْفَيْتَ. Through this rahmah of yours, you have hidden that which happened, which my limbs are unaware of, and my mind is unaware of, and these angels are unaware of. وَبِرَحْمَتِكَ أَخْفَيْتَ وَبِفَضْلِكَ سَتَرْتَ. Through your fadl and grace, you have hidden those things. This is the Allah that Amirul Mu'mineen is presenting before you and I. He becomes intimate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala towards the end. Then he comes to him displaying this relationship or talking about this relationship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with him and with us all, where he says to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my Lord, اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء. My Lord, forgive him who has absolutely nothing except dua to offer. Nothing, no wealth, no money, no strength, no nothing. I have absolutely nothing. All I have is this intimate relationship with you. اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء فإنك فعال لما تشاء. Then he carries on, يا من اسمه دواء وذكره شفاء وطاعته غنى. In this dimension, we realize that Amirul Mu'mineen is moving us towards these mystical realities and our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through mystical realities, to be able to appreciate this relationship. Dua will only make sense. Otherwise, the meaning of dua as asking and receiving is a very shallow meaning and may not give you and I any substance. Otherwise, we will always be confused as to why God is not responding to my prayer, although He has said that He responds to my prayers. Why is it that He is not responding to it? In this dimension, Amirul Mu'mineen is speaking about these mystical realities and this intimate relationship between Abd and Ma'bud, Rabb and Marboob, Khaliq and Makhluq. And when you recite the dua or the munajat of Amirul Mu'mineen today, you must bring yourself into that state where you realize that I am nothing. فَهَلْ يَرْحَمُ الْمَمْلُوكَ إِلَّا الْمَالِكِ. Who is it that will have mercy on the Mamluk except who? He who is Malik. Amirul Mu'mineen celebrates his life at a very strange moment. Amirul Mu'mineen celebrates his life at a moment when the impact of the sword of Ibn Muljim hits him. And he says, Fuztu wa Rabbil Kaaba. By the Lord of Kaaba, Ali has succeeded. 19th night of the holy month of Ramadan, 40 after Hijrah, Amir al-Mu'mineen decided to visit his daughter Kulthum for iftar. Excited Kulthum that her father was going to come and have iftar with her. She may have prepared whatever she prepared, but when the time of iftar arrived, Amir al-Mu'mineen said to her, Kulthum, I see there are three things on the table. I see there is bread, there is salt, and there is a glass of milk. O Kulthum, surely you have not seen your father eat more than one ghiza. Surely. Kulthum, why don't you take one of these things from here? Kulthum, being the daughter of Ali ibn Abi Talib, moves forward and tries to take the salt. Amir al-Mu'mineen places his hand on the salt and says, Kulthum, take one of the other things. She takes the bowl of milk away, or the glass of milk away. Amir al-Mu'mineen takes that bread and eats that bread with salt. Janab Kulthum says, when the iftar was over, Amir al-Mu'mineen went into the chambers and started his tasbih and dua. And sometimes he used to come out. He seemed restless. Kulthum says, then in the middle of the night, Amir al-Mu'mineen came outside and he kept looking towards the sky and he kept saying, here, wallah, this is the night. This is the night that the Holy Prophet had spoken about. He said, here, wallah, this is the night. Kulthum says the night passed. Imam alayhi salatu wasalam was in his prayers throughout the night. And then the morning came. Amir al-Mu'mineen decided to leave his home. As he was leaving his home, he bade farewell to Kulthum and the other children. And as he was going out, they say there were some ducks or geese outside the house of Amir al-Mu'mineen. It seemed that these ducks did not want Imam Ali alayhi salam to go to the mosque of Kufa. Perhaps these birds knew that there was the qatil and the killer of Ali in the masjid of Kufa. They tried to prevent Ali from going. Amir al-Mu'mineen looked at Kulthum and said, Oh Kulthum, these are free animals from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Kulthum, if you are unable to look after them, Kulthum, please let them free, let them loose, let them go. The earth of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is wide. Janab Kulthum is listening this from Imam alayhi salam. It is worth for you and us to ponder how difficult was it for Kulthum to bid farewell to her father at that particular time. But think about what Ali is celebrating. Ali at that particular moment is saying, Oh Kulthum, these birds are free creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Ali, your Asghar is in Karbala seeking for a drop of water, but these Muslims have forgotten the teachings of Rasulullah. Asadar Imam Hussain alayhi salam. At that moment, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam started to leave. As he was leaving, the geese or the ducks started to cry. Kulthum is being told by Imam Ali, these cries are going to turn into lamentations. These birds are aware of what is going to happen. Amir al-Mu'mineen comes to the mosque of Masjid Kufa. He enters there and he sees some people sleeping there. He wakes them up. As-salah, as-salah. He wakes them up and he tells him, Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. He recites the verse of Quran as he wakes people up inside the mosque until he comes to see Ibn Muljim, who is lying on his stomach with a sword concealed under his stomach. He wakes him up and says, Ibn Muljim, it is time for salat. Ibn Muljim is woken up by Amir al-Mu'mineen. Amir al-Mu'mineen comes to the place where he delivers adhan from and begins to deliver his adhan. And he says, Allahu Akbar. Umar, O the people of Kufa, listen to this adhan for the last time, for you will not be able to hear the voice of Ali ibn Abi Talib after this. Ali ibn Abi Talib finishes his adhan, he comes to the salat, he begins his prayer. The narrations say Amirul Mu'mineen was praying his salat until the time when he was raising his head from the second sajda, and Ibn Muljim was striking him while his sajda, his head was coming towards while to sit down. At that time Ibn Muljim struck the sword, and he said, and was ضرب بسيفه رأسه, he struck the head of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Narrations say فسقط على وجهه, Imam alayhi salam face on his, he fell on his face, and then at that time he says فزت ورب الكعبة, by the Lord of Kaaba, Ali has succeeded. Kufa began to hear the cries of the women of the house of Rasulullah. Azadaro, there was a voice that came from the heavens. تهدمت والله أركان الهدى وانفصمت العروة الوثقى قتل ابن عم المصطفى قتل علي المرتضى. وأنتم يا حسين.